Hey everybody, Hoosier Hiker here. It's been a pretty tough week. Today I'm at Grand Mere State Park. Oh, sorry about that. In right along Lake Michigan, south of St. Joe, north of New Buffalo. For those of you watching this, obviously most people aren't going to know. It's been a really rough week. On Tuesday, my father took a really nasty spill and ended up with a traumatic brain injury. So he was moved over to the University of Tennessee Medical Center in Knoxville, not too far from where he lives. So first of all, big shout out to UT Medical. They have been outstanding. The doctors are amazing. They're just brilliant. The nursing staff there are some of the kindest, most compassionate people I think I've ever met. He went in for emergency brain surgery, and he is not coming out of his state, and it's not looking good. So the family has a lot of very difficult decisions to make, knowing what his wishes would be and what's in his best interest. So Tuesday night, I rushed down to Knoxville, which is about a 7.5-hour drive from my house in Northwest Indiana, and to be with them and sit with them and talk to the doctors. All of my siblings got there, and so today is Saturday. We came home yesterday, got in kind of late, just to kind of sort things out around the house. We left in such a hurry, we just kind of left everything where it lies. So we're going to be home today, tomorrow, and then Monday morning we have a meeting with some of the doctors and nurses to decide what the next steps are. So anybody who knows me or follows my channel knows that I need some trail therapy. I need to be out here in the green. I'm going to try to hold it together. It's been a really emotional few days, but need to get some fresh air, get some sunshine, be out here in the wilderness, walk along trail. This is a short little trail. Mrs. Hoosier Hiker and her sister and one of their close friends needed to do a little bit of retail therapy, so they're in St. Joe. Probably maxing out some credit cards, but that's okay. So I'm probably not going to do a lot of talking, but this is a little trail I've kind of wanted to do when I'm in the area. It's only like 3.5 miles, but it walks along the lake shore and through the woods, and I think it'll be good for my soul and good for my morale and my outlook on what's going on with Dad. I've learned a lot this week about traumatic brain injuries. My experience with them have been around the military, and those of us veterans that have had our bells rung a few times, we know how they can affect you, but I did not realize how significantly dangerous it is, especially for senior citizens. So if you have a loved one that's prone for falls, older, please sit down and talk with them about the dangers of head injuries. It's really far more common than I realized, and I knew my dad had he'd taken some falls. He's getting a little older, not quite as steady on his feet as he used to be, but I never realized that a simple fall could lead to a major brain bleed and serious neurological damage. So sit down with your loved ones and talk about it, and how are the awareness and protections, and what are smart things to do when you're alone, and what are things that you should probably wait until somebody's around. So kind of a public service announcement. I try to spread this kind of knowledge when I have an opportunity, when I'm on a platform that I can do that. But in the meantime, like I said, I need a little bit of green, I need a little bit of air and sky and water, and kind of get myself grounded. I've got another rough week coming up, where we, myself and my siblings decide what we need to do. So let's get on the trail and see if we can have a little bit of time with nature and feel better about ourselves and everything around us. Thank you for joining me, and let's get out there. All right, so I just saw a pretty funny thing. I'm walking along, and there is a foursome of older hikers, 3 ladies and a gentleman, and they're just, they're, ripping down the path. And I noticed the gentleman is carrying bricks, like 1 brick in each hand. So I've decided that that's the kind of hiker I want to be in my 60s or 70s. Instead of worrying about shaving off every ounce to ultralight, I just want to carry around random pieces of masonry to help build up my stamina. So it's not something that you see every day, but it was really funny. He had a big smile on his face as he's hiking through the woods, gripped onto a couple of bricks. Okay. Hike your own hike. Okay, we've made it to the dunes part. This part doesn't look fun, but we'll see. This dune sand is so soft. You sink like 4 inches into it with every step. So sucks a lot out. But I bet you the views are going to be really beautiful. Lake Michigan. you who have never seen Lake Michigan, most underestimate its size. I've had a lot of visitors from other parts of the country, other countries abroad, and they're always absolutely amazed at how huge it is, that it's not like a lake to them. They're like, man, this thing looks like an ocean. And it really is. It's really gorgeous. Scuba diving, some of the best scuba diving I've ever been on. The water's a little chilly, especially this early in the spring. You know, by late summer it warms up a bit, but not much. But it's really just an absolutely incredible ecosystem, with the dunes and the forests and lake shores and obviously the water itself. So if you haven't ever seen Lake Michigan, you got to put that on your bucket list, because it's really freaking cool. All right, so we're off the beach, back into the woods. This hill is going to be fun. Gonna get the blood pumping. Well, halfway up. So, just a kind of quick tip on these, especially the really steep hills. You don't want to take long steps. You want to shift your center of gravity right over your lead foot, but you want to take like half or even third steps. And you just kind of want to chug up the hill. That is because when you take the long steps up the hill, it triggers your fast firing muscles, the muscles built for sprinting and speed. You don't want that. You're going to wear out quick. So if you just do this little half or third step chug with the center of gravity shift a little forward, you're using those muscle groups that are more designed for endurance. So it's going to tire you out a lot quicker. With a short little hike like this, it's not really a huge deal, because you're, just under 4 miles. But imagine you're doing a 10, a 12, or a 15-mile day, and you hit a series of these. It'll suck the wind out of your sails. So practice that next time you're doing really steep hills, this soft stuff especially. Just those short little chug steps really make a world of difference with your endurance. Just a friendly tip. Alright, well, that's all we really have. We've got about a 1/10 of a mile just down this paved area. back to the parking lot, and then back to St. Joe to pick up the ladies. It's been a beautiful day. I've had some time to reflect and think about Dad and everything that's going on. So if I can give everybody out there a little tidbit of advice, if your mom and dad are still around and they're available, pick up the phone, give them a call. If they're close by, go sit with them, say hi, have a sandwich, a cup of tea, whatever you do. But it's times like now that the regrets are a bit overwhelming. The missed opportunities, the harsh words, the arguments, the time that there was too much going on. You know, the lawn needing mowing will be there. The work needing to be done will be there. The honey-do list will be there. I've been facing Dad's mortality for a while now, a couple of years, and I've been trying to prepare myself for a situation like this where he may not be with us anymore. And I just kept thinking that it would be easier, but don't miss those opportunities. And thank you for joining me, especially on this hike today. And I'll see you next time on the trail. Bye.